Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's fan-made Gallifreyan script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. And then the vowels are these smaller circles, and they're kind of tricky. They have a different location sometimes depending on if they're enclosed on one of these 4 stems. So this would be like an E by itself on the word circle, like right on the line of the word circle. Whereas if it's enclosed in one of these stems, it'd be towards the middle of the stem. So it goes inside the stem here, inside the stem here, inside the stem here, and inside the stem here. So yeah, it makes the most sense in practice, so let's go ahead and look at our design. So this is set up left to right, as opposed to bottom counterclockwise like normal. But if you imagine an infinitely large circle, bottom counterclockwise would simply be left to right. So if this was an infinitely large circle, you'd still read it like this. Anyway, so with that being said, you read the words bottom counterclockwise as well. So here's our first word circle. And this is the word circle line of it. And here's the bottom of it, and this is the bottommost counterclockwise most letter. And it is a circle inside the circle, and there are 2 dots with it. These 3 dots are with this stem, and it is kind of tricky where this one goes because it is closer to this stem as opposed to this stem, but these 2 dots are in this circle, whereas these 3 dots are outside the circle closer to this stem. Anyway, so 2 dots on a circle inside the circle is a K, turning around, and in this script, this letter C is only supposed to be used in like a proper noun or an acronym where it's actually a C. The K is what you'd write if like you were making a C that goes K. So in this word cruelest, you would use a K. So K, here we have the 3 dots on a shallow divot, R, and then we have a small circle which is a vowel on the line of the word circle with a line going outwards. So that is a U. And then we have a circle in the same position except without any lines, so that's an E. And then we have another circle inside the circle except with 3 dots instead of 2, so that's an L. Here's another E. And now we have a double stem. So the double line means it's a double letter, except they're 2 different thicknesses, so this one's thinner and this one's thicker. So they're 2 different letters. So we read the thinner one first, and this is set up kind of tricky. So this thin one has 1 line ending on it, 2 lines ending on it, 3 lines ending on it. So these 3 lines are the things that actually count. So even though this line ends on this line, only when they end on the stem itself do they count. So that is an S. And last but not least, we have this thick one, which even though a line passes through it, it doesn't count because it doesn't end on it. So nothing actually ends on this, so that's just a T. My allergies have been driving me nuts. Forgive my sniffles. So anyway, so cruelest. And now we have our next word. Here's the bottom of it. Here's a deep divot with 3 dots. So that's a D. Shallow divot with 3 dots again. So just like this one with 3 dots here. This one has 3 dots here. And then we have an E just like this one. And then we have an A. So it's outside the word circle. So like this. So E, A. And then we have this. So these are lines just passing through the word circle, but they end on this circle inside the circle. So the thickness doesn't matter. So even though this one is thicker than these 2, it just counts as 1 line, but these 2 count as 2 lines because they're 2 lines. So 1, 2, 3 lines makes that an N. So dream. And then we have this double line, which is kind of like our sentence circle, and hanging out on that line we have a comma. It's the thick, big circle. So dream, comma. And then we have this last word. Here's the bottommost stem with 1, 2, 3 dots. That's another R, just like this one and this one. And then inside the R we have an E, like this. So E. Then we have an A, just like this one, hanging outside the word circle. And as long as the vowels are still smaller than the consonants, they're fine, even though they can have some variance in sizes. But just smaller is smaller is vowels, bigger is consonants. Anyway, here we have our next one. So this one is here, this one is here. And it is a circle inside the circle with 1, 2, 3 dots. So just like this L, this is another L. And then we have an I in the middle of that. So I's have the line. And this line can curve, it doesn't matter. So L, I, and then we have this blank T stem, just like this T stem. And then we have a circle on the line of the word circle, so this stem, with 1, 2 dots. So that's a Y. So reality. So darkest dream, comma, reality.